Howdy, welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. My name is Troy, and today, well, we're going freelandering. So that may or may not be a word, but what is the word is I think I've fixed my Freelander. I've done a lot of work to it in the past few weeks. It's all been documented on the channel, so please check it out, including the thermostat, which was causing some coolant loss, let's just say. So that's all buttoned up, and I think this car has pretty much reached where I want to be at. Again, if you want to see the backstory to this Freelander, please check it out. I think I kind of started a little bit of a Freelander trend on the YouTubes recently because everyone seems to be about these, but theirs aren't green, and mine's green. But what I want to do today, and this is kind of the final conclusion to this little Freelander journey, is take it on another road trip. We're going to go up to the cabin. We might take it off-roading. It's a pretty steep and treacherous, wet, rainy type of day, and the driveway for the cabin, well, it's, you know, it's a lot. I think this will be the least capable car that I've taken up there that I've personally owned. But we're gonna see how it does on the highway. We're gonna go up some mountain passes. You guys, if you follow the channel, you know what this little run looks like. It's just putting it through its complete paces, monitoring temps, making sure we're not using any coolant or oil or anything like that. And yeah, hopefully see how capable it is or isn't off-road. And check out and clean the cabin because I haven't been there for a while because we just had a baby. So baby Otto is in the world, and my time is limited, so it's a little harder to make these videos these days, but listen, we gotta do some Freelandering. So this is gonna be a bit of a family trip. We've got everything loaded down to resupply the cabin. Max and my father are coming along as well, so this thing's gonna be loaded down to Freelander capacity, whatever that is, which probably isn't a whole lot, but I think we'll be okay. I think that's the goal. I think this car's really growing on me, the way it drives. It's just a neat little package. Any little four-door with a spare tire on the back is, you know, pretty interesting. So let's just hit the road and fill up with fuel, do the thing. All right, so we have made it to 64 Freelandering. Got a full tank of fuel, and I think this is an 18 or so gallon tank, maybe a little smaller, and should be getting 18-ish miles to gallon. Like these senders don't read very accurately because I've gone 58 miles, and it says I've used a little over a quarter tank, but I don't think it filled all the way, so that might be slightly off. So we'll see maybe later what the overall fuel consumption is, but more importantly, paying attention to the temp gauge. Got the scan gauge plugged in, right about 208, which is perfectly healthy for this little 2.5 kV engine. Again, I think the highest I've seen after completing the water pump coolant flush is about 215, which is much better than it was before. Before it was around like 220 if you're with the AC idling in the heat and traffic. Obviously the ambient temperature is a little bit lower, but I still feel pretty good about where this is now. So next few things, we're going up Afton Mountain, pretty high, long climb, and then hitting the cabin. So still going to be the longest that we've trekked in the Freelander, and so far pretty good. It also cruises pretty well. When we get to the cabin, it has street performance tires on it, so we're going to try to take it a little bit easy, try to get a puncture, but they make a big difference on the road. I think these are 17-inch wheels, so it's pretty comfortable at highway speeds. All right, we're cruising up Afton Mountain. Got our own sport mode. You know, not bad for the worst car ever made. Hundreds and hundreds of miles of semi-trouble-free driving. Still no check engine lights. I'm not overheating. Temp is still around 206, 204, so absolutely perfect. Almost 4 miles of pretty steep uphill and then a few downhills. So I think all the fixes have held. I think this is a pretty good torture test, this particular route, as far as highway driving, traffic, hills, constant speeds, variable speeds, and a little bit off-roading. So I don't really know if I can put a car through a better torture test in preparation to sell. So, you know, so far, well, I'm going to jinx myself, mission accomplished. It's always better when you know there's a backup car at the cabin that you could potentially drive back in. So we'll see. All right, we made it up to the cabin, and of course it's a little rainy, a little slippery, and everything's covered with leaves, so we'll see how she goes. I'll try to get some footage of us going down and up the old hill here, but first time off-road with Freelander. All right, now this is usually the part of the experience where I drop it into 4 low or all-wheel drive, or 4-wheel drive, but I don't have that option this time. So we do have some buttons to play with. It does have hill descent control. Let's see if that will engage. It's not engaging. It's blinking though. Maybe I have to go slower. Maybe I have to go from a dead stop. Let me try that. Or maybe just drive. Or first. Ah, okay, so you have to put it in first. And then you've got hill descent control. First, ooh, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Usually I'm a little more enthusiastic, but the fact that this does have street tires on it is a thing, and I don't want to get a puncture. But hill descent control is actually working pretty well. It's not holding me very slow, maybe 5 or 6 miles an hour. I don't know if you can dial that in one way or the other, but it's working. It's also not super intrusive. It's not like slamming on the brakes or anything like that. It's a lot less loud, I think, than comparable Toyota systems. Ooh. All right, so it's very flooded and slippery. Max, yeah, we're at the cabin. And it's actually flowing water on the driveway here. So we are gonna probably utilize all our traction devices and hopefully not slide off the road. These old systems, you can just hear it pulsing, just do, 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 all over the place. It's very interesting. It's using the brakes, but just not like in a super ABS-y way, which is nice, I think. All right. So we've got a puddle, we've got this climb, and we're gonna switch up this camera angle, I think, after we make it through. Whee, through the mud. All right, let me set this up and we'll go up the hill here in a second. Oh yeah, it's pretty muddy. It's way more fun bringing things that shouldn't go off-road than being over-prepared, so you might have some more fun with this. Oh, my license plate's gone. That's not good. So again, doesn't look that steep on camera, but this hill is a killer, man. It's pretty big, huge boulders, a little more than your average driveway. So that's where we're gonna go up next. gotta grab the camera. That was fun. Okay, remember, full PSI, street tires, wet. I didn't really get much of a running start, but that was fun. It's kind of cool to see the car use the features, traction control, everything kind of work as it should, distribute that traction around and have a little bit of fun, let it slip a little bit. But I'm pretty impressed. Could I hit that a little faster to make it a little easier? Yes, but like I said, I don't want to puncture anything. So, you know, we made it. So we're back up at Rover Woods. Been a while since I've been up here. I'm gonna check on the property, make sure everything's cleaned up for some renters coming this weekend, and also just a good test for the Freelander. So let's check it out. Coolant's still perfect. So again, I'm doing some QA/QC. So everything's good there. My license plate's gone. I don't know, it must have fallen off. Usually these cars are on dealer plates and whatnot, but the one time I register and do everything in the proper way, it decides to leave us. So hopefully I find them on the way back. All right, so while we do some observations and I clean the cabin, this thing, battery was dead, but she fired right up. This is the $1,000 Rescue D1 that I put an ARB and a super winch on. It's the cabin Rover. This thing's a gem, man. This is why I like old Land Rovers. They can just kind of sit and hang out. I start it once a month and I come up here, run around, make sure it's good, and I did a full tune-up on it. Sounds great. That's a healthy 4-liter with 240,000 miles. So all good. A little bit of animal deposits in there, but we're gonna let her air out a little bit. But that's just the part of the game. Idling nicely. Smells a little wet in here, but she's a disco. We'll get it all cleaned out. That's the thing. It can sit, and then we'll bring it back to life as needed. All right, so out in the, watch his head when that tree snaps. Taking the Rover Woods trails for a little run. See how they did in the mud. Whoa. Oh. Max, is that fun, buddy? Wow. Yeah, not a bad time here on the woods. Except I don't remember this tree blocking our path.
Yeah.
I have to move that. It's always a fun part about all these forest trails. God, it looks glorious. But sometimes they change how they look, so I don't know, I might have to drag this one. All right, so we had to make a new trail through there, but now we're in the stream. We're not stuck. God, I love a disco. All right. Nice, no stuck. Nice, is that truck's uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hey, so cabin's clean, looking good. We've got people that will be staying here this weekend. If you're interested in staying here, I'll drop the link in the comment section below for Airbnb. Again, I'm on about 20 some acres. I've got trails. It is on Airbnb, and you're welcome to stay here if you can make it up the hill. Have to have four-wheel drive access only. And if the Freelander can make it, then, you know, you can probably make it as well. right, so nothing crazy, but it survived. Again, street tires, full PSI. I gotta drive this thing home. You know, we just want to see how that traction control works and what it does. And I don't know, that you saw it. It did the thing. It's muddy, slick, wet. And that's the type of conditions this thing's built for, and it handled it perfectly. And now I gotta get out of here. All right, but the adventure is not over because we need to exit the property as well. So that means we need to go back down the hill. I want to use hill descent control again because I don't know, it worked. I kind of get it for these trucks that don't, or SUVs, cars, whatever you call it, that do not have low range. So we're gonna come to a stop, pop that on, and let you just take the wheel. No, we're not that crazy, but you know, I'm glad I replaced the calipers. You know, I think that was a good call. Again, not something that, well, I didn't need to do it, but I am glad now that I have fully functioning calipers for actuating this ABS here. There it goes. It's working a little harder now. Trucks, uh-oh, Max. Whee! Made it. Now this is all fun and good. I'm worried about a little muddy uphill after this. All right, so let's turn that hill descent off and get through the mud. So we need a little momentum. Come on. It's doing it. It's not slipping yet. Through the running stream. That is my driveway at the moment. Oh man. She's doing good. Almost out. Giving the suspension a workout it's probably never received in its 20 years of life. But I would say this is what it's built for, but it's really not. But it can do it. But if ever a Freelander was put through a torture test, this is mild torture. This is just a little waterboarding, but like between friends in a basement for fun. And we're out. All right, so, you know, Freelander torture test. There's a Freelander, not Land Rover torture test, Freelander torture test is complete. Everything is still functioning as it should. We're gonna go down the mountain, past Wintergreen Resort, and ride along the Blue Ridge Parkway for a little bit. It's a nice day to be out Freelander.
See the little girl that's 2.5 over there.
Good, how are you? So we're on the ride back, and it was pretty uneventful. We stopped by at a campsite for Overland Expo East. I wanted to check in on the Overland fellas there, make sure none of them needed a tow or a pull out of the mud. They wanted to see what a real 4x4 could do, so we kind of let them play with their scottles and their tents, fold out seats and whatnot. Then we got some lunch. Freelander, we're riding about 75, 80 on the way back. Everything's good. I think we've passed the torture test. There's a few other things I need to do to get this thing ready for sale, but I probably consider it officially for sale. It is probably one of the lowest mileage, best condition. Freelanders in the country. I'll go ahead and drop that in there right now. Again, I just crossed 55,000 miles. Runs and drives great, good condition. I think the only downsides are these locks are a little bit iffy, and that window does not work. It probably needs a motor. I'm going to fix that. The back one was pretty easy, so probably going to do that one next. But used about a little over half tank of fuel for 174,000 miles. We're not really killing it on the MPG side of things, but that's not really what this car is all about. But overall, Freelander, you know, is it the worst car ever made? Well, it's not the best car ever made, but it's certainly not the worst. And it's definitely proven itself over the past few months to be, you know, a car. Once the maintenance has all been caught up on, again, and these things get neglected. I think that's a lot of the reason why they die. You know, people don't realize that thermostat's leaking or changing the timing belts or little things like that. And, you know, this one seems pretty good after a bit of sorting, which it's a Land Rover. It's 20 years old. They all need that. All right, so that's going to wrap up today's video. We're hanging out with baby Otto. He's 4 days old. And I don't know if he's a big Freelander fan or not, but I think that's going to be it for this one for now. I'm going to clean it up, ride around, and it's going to be for sale. So if you're interested in probably the lowest mileage, running and driving, capable, all systems function, except for one window Freelander, let me know. I'm your guy. So let's see, submit to Bring a Trailer. We'll see if they want it. If not, I'll just post it on Facebook Marketplace and see what happens. It's been fun, but I have a new car coming for Cindy, so I have to get rid of some things. So the Freelander is going to go, the XC90 is going to go, and the 328D is going to go because that's a hint. I got a bigger 328D, so we're going to do some mom reviews on what I think is going to be the ultimate family hauler, at least that you can buy stateside. So yeah, I bought it sight unseen from a CarMax auction, so that's going to be my next few months of automotive projects. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Right, baby Otto? Is that like Otto? Did I give you a name hack there, buddy? I don't know. Do you like Freelanders? No? Yeah, most people don't.